Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Keandra, also known as Key, and if you are new, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button so that you will be notified every time that I post a new video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all some tips and advice on where to look for fashion inspiration, where to find fashion inspiration. So this video is going to be for those who like to design or create, or even for those who are looking to change up their wardrobe or don't really know how to dress. So I came up with quite a few ideas, quite a few places to look, and so yeah, let's get right into the video. So the first place that you are going to want to look to find fashion inspiration is look at fashion designers. So I say look into fashion designers because fashion designers are one of the sources when it comes to trend setting and everything like that. When you think about it, fashion designers are artists. They are artists. They create, they come up with ideas, they bring their ideas to life. You know, not everybody knows how to sew. You can be a fashion designer without knowing how to sew, but it's all about ideas and bringing things to life. Like, what can you create? Or, you know, even if you don't know how to sew, there are a lot of people who like to sketch and then have others help them bring their stuff to life. But if you are looking for fashion inspiration, I would say find a fashion designer, somebody that you feel like catches your eye, or somebody that you feel is a favorite of yours, someone that you adore. And also look into like what they are creating, what they have created in the past, you know, what they're currently working on. Look into some of their lines that they have created, look into some of their fashion shows and all of that stuff. You can even look into how they dress and how some of their models, like some of the things that are put onto their models, how are they put together, how are those pieces put together. So just look into like any of their collections, whether it's a current collection, a past collection, but just look into different fashion designers, kind of do some research, and then, you know, just look into different fashion designers, what they create, what's their niche, you know, what kind of clothing they like to create and such like that. My second tip is to look into celebrities and influencers. So I put these two into one category, but they're, to me, are separate. Like, I feel like a celebrity and an influencer is different depending on what they are known for. I'm not gonna go too detailed into like what the differences are, but they are definitely different to me. Some people might put celebrities and influencer into one. I would say keep up with those who you feel best fit like your style, somebody that's similar to you. And that really goes for like mostly like influencers too, because I feel like when it comes to influencers, I think more of like the YouTube, Instagram, and maybe TikTok side of things. Like, I feel like it's a little bit more personal. Like, I feel like you can get to know them a little bit more personal, on a personal level, get to know them. As far as like a celebrity, it's not really like that. I'm not really sure, but I say find a celebrity or influencer that you feel like best fits you, or that you know you are similar to, and just, you know, look into how they dress, how they style, put things together. Now, I'm not saying go out and buy like everything that they are wearing. Now, just because you like something that someone wear or how they put things together does not mean that it also fits you. It does not mean that, you know, that's your type of style. Just, you know, find pieces that you like here and there, and, you know, try to make it to where it fits you. My third tip is to look into museums and art galleries. Of course, museums and art galleries, they offer, you know, different type of history and historic items and different stuff like that, like wax figures and paintings, pictures, exhibits, and things like that. So there are also even museums that are like specifically catered to, you know, fashion from different eras or time periods, or museums might have a set exhibit that caters to different like time periods, to where you will be able to see what people wore during those times. So I feel like that would help a lot, like if you can kind of just, you know, see what's out there or what's being shown at the time as far as like exhibits and museums. And it doesn't even have to be like fashion related, like anything historic or anything like that can bring inspiration in so many ways. My next tip is to look into archives and books. So if possible, I would say look into vintage showrooms. So these places might have like actual real pieces of clothing that might have been saved or left over from different time periods. And those are really like good, like, you know, authentic pieces that you can look at and see like what's being worn during those times. And also, like when it comes to books, there are a ton of different books that you can look at, or just go to like a bookstore, you know, Barnes and Nobles or a local bookstore, or even just the library. You can find fashion related books on, you know, different topics as far as like fashion and everything like that. So I've also came across like several fashion books in Five Below as well, and I wanted to show y'all this because I've been looking at Five Below for more fashion related books, but I have not come across them yet. But hopefully they have more fashion books in the future. But I found this one book a while ago, and I decided to end up getting it because I want to, you know, get a collection of fashion books. And so yeah, this book here is a book that I found from Five Below a while ago, and it's called Dress Like a Woman. It says working women and what they wore. So it has different pictures and everything of different like careers that women worked in the past and what they wore. Like this is by Roxanne Gay and Vanessa Friedman, I believe that's how you say it. But yeah, I got this book from Five Below. Like I said, there are a ton of books on fashion that you can find anywhere. You can even look at a thrift store and see what kind of books they provide that are fashion related. My next tip is to look into movies and TV shows. So anytime you're watching a movie or a TV show, it doesn't matter what time period it is, just pay attention to what they are wearing. So if you watch or pay attention to movies from like the past or like, you know, years ago, they're obviously going to be wearing clothes that is very similar or close to that time period of when this film was supposed to be set in. So just pay attention to what they're wearing. So just think about like TV shows as well, like, you know, shows that were set in the 80s and 90s and even before then. Just look at how they dress, and then you would see how some of the things that we wear today come from, you know, some of the inspiration that we got from these TV shows and movies and everything like that. They're just cycling back around. Of course, like I mentioned before, fashion cycles around. Fashion repeats itself. It never goes away. Even if you feel like even if you feel like we don't wear, you know, certain clothing anymore, it's gonna come back around. So a lot of 90s stuff that they wore at that time, we wear today, and we might not wear it like how they did at that time. We wear it in our way that we wear it now, like today. But those inspirations come from those time periods. So just pay attention to movies, pay attention to TV shows and what these costume designers have these actors and actresses dressed in, and you will see they always have to, of course, obviously, have to make sure that whatever the movie is set in, that they have their actors dressed in clothing that is fairly similar to that time period, just obviously to make it more realistic. Traveling is also a way that you can get inspired by different fashion. There is fashion all over the world. There are different fashions wherever you go, especially outside of your country. Of course, I live in the United States, so obviously fashion is going to be different in, you know, a different country. And fashion is even different from state to state here. So where I'm from, I live in the South. People that live in California or the West Coast or whatever, they're gonna dress completely different than how we dress. People who live in the North, they're gonna dress completely different than how we dress in the South. So everybody dresses differently depending on where they stay. Weather is different, you know, everywhere. And I feel like traveling and just going to different parts of the world or different parts of your country, you would get fashion inspiration from. And not only that, I mean, obviously if you go out of the country, you will see how different people dress, but sometimes it's all about culture and the different jewelry they're wearing or garments and accessories and stuff like that. So you also have to take into consideration that type of stuff too. But you know, wherever you go, there are going to be people that dress differently from you because of their environment and the weather and just the culture and everything like that. So like I said, I live in the States, but from state to state, everybody dresses differently. And obviously outside of the country, people dress different just everywhere. So if you travel, pay attention to the surroundings and how everybody dresses. Window shopping and store displays. Window shopping is also a good way to get fashion inspiration because whenever you're shopping, the main thing that really attracts me, I can't speak for everybody, but what attracts me is how they have their window displays. Like, how do they have the mannequins? That is what's going to catch my eye. And that's the main thing when it comes to visual merchandising. You want whatever you have on your mannequin to catch the customer's attention, to drive them into the store. So whenever I, just want to go out and just look at different clothing and what, different stores have to offer, the mannequins are one of the things that catches my attention and make me want to go into the store. But whenever I'm just window shopping, I just kind of like to go in and just browse and see what they have at the moment. And maybe I'll come back and get something, at a later time, or I might even buy something that day. But just going around and looking, you can kind of get an idea of what's trending or what you like. You don't have to buy anything in particular that day, but you can go around, take pictures of stuff. Like for me, if I am looking at something and I know that I really want it, but I can't get it right now, if I feel like I'm on a budget and I just know that I don't need to get it that day, I just take pictures of stuff in the store, and then eventually, if I feel like I want to go back and get it, I'll go back and get it. But also, I take pictures of stuff that I see in stores so that, I can maybe find something at a cheaper price online or at a different store. But yeah, like window shopping is just about, just seeing what's in the stores. And you can also it doesn't have to be stores that you are familiar with or that just go around and look into different stores that you've never been in. Like you might actually end up wanting to shop in that store. And whether or not it's in your budget, I say still go for it and still look, because you might see, you know, something that you like, but you can always find something at a cheaper price. It's all about inspiration. Fashion shows. So fashion shows, of course, is a good way to look or find fashion inspiration. So this kind of goes back into the fashion designers, and you know, trying to find a fashion designer that you know you really adore. You will be able to look at a variety of different fashion designers and a variety of different styles and everything like that. So just, you know, see if you can find some local fashion shows, or maybe if you can find some fashion shows that you would like to just go to. You can even search fashion shows online and just, you know, keep up with when they're going to be showing fashion shows. You can find just about anything on YouTube. So there's a lot of fashion shows that you can find or watch on YouTube. And when it comes to fashion shows, there are a variety of different styles and different pieces, of course, because there are going to be different fashion designers, and every fashion designer is different. Every fashion designer has a different type of style, and you will be able to see obviously like what's trending in that moment. But I also want to point out that what you typically see on a runway is not really like meant for everyday wear. It's just creativity and inspiration and everything like that. Designers are also artists again, so they are meant to inspire, they are meant to create, you know. And that's really all, you know, fashion shows and runway shows are all about. Now, not all fashion shows or runways are gonna have like crazy fashion like that, but when it comes to like high-end, you know, big designers, they're all about creativity. It's not about designing something that's meant for everyday wear when it comes to the runway. So I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna end the video right here, and this is gonna be part 1 of where to find fashion inspiration. So part 2 is gonna be right after this video, so make sure that you are on the lookout for part 2, because I don't want this video to be too long. But if you did enjoy part 1 so far of my tips and advice on places, people, and things where you can find fashion inspiration, please give the video a thumbs up. And also comment
really much down these days. You're trying to get me paid. Tell what I can really do good these days. Keep my pack so lit. This body on the link, and talk about this. Trying to know man's face. I know that my links back home wanna see my page. And I know that's great. Can't know I'm gonna keep it 100. Hold down summer, the guy can't flex like me. What up on my red guy knew what he can come do and run. I need the whitest chain for my whitest. Stars on the plate with a bird trying to cut some hummus, but I need a big whip trying to flex that hummer. Yes, on my team got